I truly believe that one of the greatest problems that we face is when we have a lack of awareness around something and we are in what's called like an ignorant state or a state of not knowing. And what's amazing is when we are in that lack of awareness space, or a space where we're limiting our perspective or how we approach things, how we see the world, how we see people, etc., then we're really limiting our perspective, and we're just seeing things like one way. And one of the things over the last several years, it's going on almost a decade now, that I really started to do was expand my thinking and my awareness and step outside of the traditional way that I might be being influenced or taught about something. And I'm going to be honest, when I first started to do this, it really was difficult because I was trained so much, to see things in a certain way, especially when it came to my faith and how I, came to faith, and just really seeing things from one perspective. And so when I started to kind of question things or see how, the mass way of the faith that I was following was handling things. And I just was like, that something with that just does not settle right within my spirit. And I started to question things and started to kind of open up and listen to a different perspective and open up my heart and my mind. My awareness began to grow. And little by little over time, the fear of like the unknown, right? Because it feels so much better when you're like taught a certain way and you're like, nope, this is it. This is the way. I know it for a fact. I'm 1,000% sure. And then that way gets a little bit rattled and things start coming up against your belief and starts to make you question and wonder, is that really the truth? Is that really what I want to believe? Is that really the perspective I want to take? And so as I personally began to kind of grow my awareness and step out of my comfort zone and step out of what I was always being taught to think about something or my faith in a certain way, I began to just grow a deeper awareness and understanding of things that wouldn't have come if I would have just stayed kind of boxed into my normal way of thinking. And a practical example of this would be just around money. And we are only taught, at least here in America, really one way to bank. Like I wasn't told that there were options to bank. Like I knew about investing and I knew there was, 401ks, and I knew that there's different ways to kind of save your money and grow it, stocks, all of that. But I had no idea that there was a different way to kind of run my money other than the traditional way that I was taught, that I would say 99% of us are taught, is that you open a checking account, you put your money in a checking account, you maybe put some into savings, you pay all your bills through the checking account, and then you wait for payday again and you do the whole system over, right? And that was the way that I was taught. And I was never, ever taught. And then the other way I was taught was that like, credit is bad. Like, don't use credit. You need to use cash for everything. Cash is king. And, really that put me in a very limiting mindset and a way that like I wasn't leveraging things in the way that I could leverage money that was available because I was afraid of it, because I was taught that's bad. You don't want to have any debt. And when you hit rock bottom in something, sometimes it's like it can make you just say, hold on, I need to start thinking, is there a different way to actually do things? And so this is an example of what happened to me with money. We hit rock bottom. We got an unexpected $10,000 IRS bill that we were not prepared to get in 2019, and it put me in a deep, dark place. And I literally locked myself in my room for like 3 days and just poured my heart out to God. And it's just like I just can't do this anymore. It is sucking every bit of life out of me. It's impacting my relationship with my family, especially my husband. And I just don't enjoy living this way. And so I made my mind up at that moment that I am going to find a different solution because this one is not working. And we've heard, right, that if you continue to do the same thing over and over again, that's insanity, right? When you're expecting different results, but you're doing the same thing over and over and over again. And so that's when I just said, we've tried this way for 10 years, living on rice and beans and rice. We've paid off a little bit of debt, but every time we pay off a debt, another one seemed to come our way, and that just wasn't working for us. So this is an example of where I said, okay, I'm going to open up my mind and I am going to see what else is out there. And lo and behold, and I'm just learned this so much over the years, when you start to fix your mind on an idea and a different way to see things, that way will be shown, because there is always another way. If there's a problem, then there's a solution. And a lot of times that's not always comfortable, because we may have been so ingrained to think about something one way for so long that it's very uncomfortable to start to say, you know what, I'm going to open myself up a little bit. I'm just going to take a little bit of step outside of my comfort, and I'm going to explore something different. And that's what I began to do. And I came across a concept called velocity banking, which exactly what I was looking for, a different way to run our money and to handle our finances and actually take debt. Well, I wouldn't say debt, I would say credit that we have available through credit cards, through our home equity, through a personal line of credit, money that you're freely kind of given, that you can take and leverage it to your advantage and run your money in a different way that is not taught to us in the traditional way. We are taught through one system, and that is to put our money into an account that's in a bank. Well, there's so much I could teach here, but you'll have to keep following along. The banks, right, they take our money and they lend it out and they earn interest on our money, while our money is hardly making any interest, and it just sits in there. And then we pay out our bills and we wait till our next paycheck, and that's kind of the cycle we run. So our money's just kind of sitting stagnant. It's not moving. And the more I've learned over the years that, and just think about this for a minute, money really is energy. Like, think about it, we don't even really hold it in our hand anymore. If you can't think about it now as energy, like this is the time of history that really we see that. We can tap our phone and then boom, a transaction's made, and that is energy. It's just going from one account to another account and it's moving. So money really is meant to circulate. It's not meant to just stay stagnant and sit there. And the more you learn to have it circulate for your benefit, the more you're going to be able to leverage other people's money to help you pay down things rapidly. And I want you to take some time to think about, I think first it just is stopping to say, has my current way that I've been running my finances been working for me? Has it really been getting me the results I want in life? Or do you keep kind of finding the same thing, hitting the wall over and over again? Maybe you're trying to pay down debt, and every time you do, another debt comes. Well, just kind of as I alluded to in this video, what you focus on and what you put your energy on will expand. So if you're just focused on getting out of debt, then that idea can continue to expand. Is it bad to want to get out of debt? Absolutely not. But if you start focusing on, I want to be free, right? And what will you do with that? How will that feel when you become financially free? What will you do with the money that you have? Who will you serve with the money? How will you help your family? How will that help you? How will that help your kids' future, right? How will that help you to leave a legacy? And you start to take the focus away from the negative of like the feeling of feeling overwhelmed in debt to, man, when I become financially free, and you start putting your energy towards how that's going to feel, that even shift right there can do wonders for your finances. So I want you today just to think about, is your current way of running your finances working? And if not, man, I have some solutions. There's a couple different strategies that could really benefit you, that could really start swinging you to the more freedom side and an abundant outlook on money. And I'm telling you, it just makes your life so much more enjoyable, so much more fun. and just free. That's the best word I could say. Lighter, airy, more free.